I feel like the average person severely underestimates the level to which their day-to-day activities and their habits impact their brain chemistry, right? And what I mean by that isn't necessarily, specifically drugs that you're taking or specifically foods that you're eating and the kind of, literal chemicals that it emits in your brain. That's not really what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is more so the habits that we have throughout the day, right? And our brain's interpretation of those habits are what's going to put us in a good mood or a bad mood, literally by how much dopamine our activities are giving us, right? Like how much happy juice our brain secretes from various activities. That's all determined by the quote unquote hierarchy of importance that you impose onto your brain, right? There's a lot of stimulation nowadays, right? There's the phones, internet, apps, social media, nicotine, THC, alcohol, sugar, right? Watching movies, watching Netflix, right? There's a ton of things nowadays that give people just so much just dopamine, just constant, just splurging of happiness. This is stimulating, right? And it's ironic because what you'll also notice about people nowadays is everybody's always anxious and unhappy. There's more access to all these quote unquote, things that make us happy than ever before, yet everybody's less happy than they used to be, right? There's literally like documentaries about people that live in like incredibly rural environments throughout the world, like either tribesmen or, hunter-gatherer type people that still exist. And they're always happy as a clam. Dude, they couldn't give less of a shit about your iPhone or about, your weed plug or how your office job went that day. They don't even perceive of that as an entity. That doesn't exist in their mind. What exists in their mind is I'm going to wake up, do my best to be productive around the village. I'm going to get some food, chill with my family, and we're going to eat at the end of the day. Right? So the only things that give them stimulation are shit that actually matters. Their family, gathering food to exist, keeping track of their shelter, making sure their shelter exists and is sturdy. That's what gives them stimulation, and it's all real. Right? So every time they complete one of those tasks, that's tangible happiness because that's tangible impact on their life. Right? You flip to what we're doing. What do we get our happiness from? You wake up, you hit the vape, right? Oh, little dopamine there. All right. Then you go, you eat from fucking, Frosted Flakes. Oh, tons of sugar, get a little bit of dopamine there. And then you force yourself to go to the job that you don't want to go to, or even if you like your job, right? Maybe you get some dopamine for your job, maybe you don't. Right? But what are you looking forward to all day? Oh man, I can't wait till I get home. I'm going to watch Netflix. I'm going to, pour myself up a double of whatever over some ice, or oh man, I'm gonna get home. I'm gonna smoke. I'm gonna get super high. I'm gonna get drunk. I'm gonna hang out with my friends. I'm gonna watch Netflix. I'm gonna do X, Y, Z. All the stimulation is coming from stuff that doesn't really have anything to do with your actual life, right? Now it's one thing if you're super excited to go see your buds after school, after class, after work, whatever. Today Alabama plays Georgia. I'm going to go over to my buddy's house, watch that. It's going to be fun. I was looking forward to that today. That's fine because that's actual human interaction. That's something that's going to advance an aspect of my life, which is social interaction and being a personable guy. That's something I enjoy having an aspect of my life. Right? But all these people that have all these problems with life is boring. I don't get any stimulation, man. It's all boring. I'm just on my phone all day, like rolling around on Netflix, rolling around on my bed. Yeah, dude. Because 99% of your stimulation comes from either a drug or a thing on a screen, right? And if all of your happy juices are only a result of stuff that has nothing to do with your actual life, nothing to do with your career, nothing to do with your family, nothing to do with bettering yourself, nothing to do with getting closer to your goals, right? If all of your dopamine is coming from shit that doesn't matter, yeah, you're going to be pissed all the time. You're going to be sad all the time. You're going to be yearning all the time. You're going to be exhausted all the time, right? You're going to literally be tired if you're hitting a Juul all day. You're going to be tired if you're smoking weed all day. Regardless of the fact that even if it didn't make you physically tired, you're going to experience anxiety and tiredness because your brain is tired of pumping out chemicals that are supposed to be reserved for important shit. When you finish that teepee house and get your family out of the storm and get your family away from predaceous animals, and you find food to feed your family at night, or you landed a career job that you've always wanted, or you finished that book you wanted to finish, or you talked to your grandma, right, who just got put in a nursing home and now you make sure to call her every few days, something like that. That's real stuff, right? That's what dopamine is supposed to be reserved for, right? When we evolved, we weren't evolved with, Mother Nature being like, okay, well, we got to account for the joule, right? So we got to make sure there's about 500 times more dopamine than there's supposed to be because, they're going to get these little squirts of dopamine every 2 seconds throughout the entire day. So we got to make sure there's enough dopamine left over for them to actually enjoy their life. Mother Nature doesn't know about that. It also doesn't care, right? Because that's on you. The impetus is on you, right? If you feel like you're always tired, right? Nothing excites you, right? You're always exhausted. You're always looking at stuff. You're always bored. Nothing's entertaining, right? You got a bad attitude all the time. Take a look at your habits. What are you getting your dopamine from? You getting your dopamine from Netflix and pot and, alcohol? Or are you getting your dopamine from having a good career, having good family relationships, having good friend bonds, right? Accomplishing your goals, right? Is that what's giving you dopamine? Or are you going to work all day and you can't wait till you get home and you do everything else that has nothing to do with productivity? Right? There's nothing wrong with relaxing. I didn't do really anything this week. I definitely didn't do anything productive this week, and I read, but that's something I enjoy doing. I won't even count that. I pretty much did nothing objectively productive this weekend. But you know why that's okay? Because Monday through Friday, that is what I'm doing. When I wake up, the maximum amount of quote-unquote entertainment I'll allow myself is listening to a podcast on the way to work, right? And what am I thinking about the whole time? I'm thinking about what I'm going to do for work. I'm going through those motions. I'm making that game plan in my head. And when I go to work and I freaking crush it, and I crush my key performance indicators, and let's say I knock out, half my weekly budget goal and, Monday before 4 p.m., that makes me feel high as hell, right? You could rip from the biggest bong there is and you're not going to get a high like you will if you just crushed an absolutely insane deal size at work, or you closed a client you've been trying to close, or you finished that project you've been working on, or you finished that email campaign you've been working on. The dopamine you get from that is the dopamine you're supposed to be getting. That's what you're supposed to shoot after, right? You talk to your parents on the phone, right? You hang out with your parents for dinner. You helped your buddy move. You finished a book. You met with that recruiter you've been meaning to meet with, right? You cleaned up your apartment for the first time in a while. You cleaned out your car, right? You made your bed, right? Those things, the reason those all sound boring as hell to y'all is because you're going at this the wrong way, right? If you wake up every day and all you're thinking about all day is all the different ways you're going to get your stimulation in, guess what you're not thinking about ever? Actually being productive, right? Productivity is a long haul. But you know what is easily going to mask your ability to realize that and to capitalize on that? Overstimulation, right? So the reason you're going to be 35, 40 years old and still have a life that you hate is because every fucking day, the only smile that ever gets put on your face is from something that has nothing to do with your actual life. It's from a drug. It's from nicotine. It's from Netflix. It's from your phone. It's from shit that doesn't matter. Again, broken record here. There's a time and place for it. I scroll on my phone sometimes. I'll partake in things sometimes. I'll have my free time. But you know what I don't do? I don't allow that to have priority over shit that matters. Right? And you may be saying, oh, that's not me. I'm not the guy to wake up early. I'm not the girl to, go to blah, 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 blah. Dude, don't fucking kid yourself. Don't kid yourself. The people that are happy, and the reason that happy people bug you, is because they're doing something that makes them happy. And how are they doing that? Because they've prioritized their life in a way that allows them to get happiness from their goals. Get happiness from things that they know they actually care about. right? Get happiness from their own individual idea of success. Success doesn't have to mean a ton of money, right? Most people, they say they want to be successful. All they really want is to be happy, right? That's really what you want. And you just think that if you had a ton of money, you'd magically be happy. Guess what? You wouldn't be, because you'd still spend all day on your phone. You'd still spend all day ripping your jewel. You'd still spend all day looking forward to do something that's not productive, right? You would never have that sense of, man, I did something that mattered. You never built the teepee. Now, everybody's teepee is going to be different. Me building my teepee right now, it's mostly work and hobby related, right? Those are the two things I'm most focused on right now, because those are the two things that provide my life most value, right? Because as of right now, I'm in a position where if I begin to maximize my income, I'll begin to able to improve my housing situation. I'll be able to pay off my car. I'll be able to advance my career long-term within this firm that I'm within, which allows me to bolster up my resume, opening up career opportunities later down the road. And I focus on pretty straightforward stuff. I focus on doing really well at work, continuing my education with work, to continuing my education with things I care about, such as psychology and history, and continuing developing my social life, right? All things that I've always wanted to be able to focus on, and now I am, right? And that's what gets me high. I get high when I get a sale at work. I feel great. Literally puts a smile on my face. It literally makes me smile when I'm doing well at work. I am actively smiling very regularly at work. And I know that sounds insane, and it's not going to be the case for everybody, right? I get some people have a job that actually despise. I get that. But guess what's going to make you despise your life even more? If your only sources of happiness are shit that doesn't matter. You got to find your TP. You got to find a TP to build, whatever it is, right? If you're waking up and you're going about your day and you're thinking, woe is me, I'm tired, I'm anxious, I'm this, I'm that, why don't you take a step back and look at your stimulants? I don't just mean drugs. I mean overall, what are your stimulants? What do you really look forward to? If you wake up every day and you notice that you only look forward to stuff that has nothing to do with you becoming the person you want to be, take a look at that, right? Take a look at that. You drinking too much caffeine, right? You looking forward to are you so into caffeine? Are you so reliant on stimulants that, you're literally waiting to get through this meeting just so that you can pour another cup of coffee? That's not good. Are you waiting to get off this presentation and go ahead and wrap it up really quick and kind of sacrifice the quality of the presentation so you can go outside and rip a cigarette? That's not good, right? Are you skipping possible work, social events, and friend events because you'd prefer to kind of sit at home and turn through a TV show? Vast majority of the time, that's not good, right? I've touched on this before, but whoever the person is that you want to be, every day you have the opportunity to get closer to that thing, whatever that person is, whatever that TP is you're trying to build. It's up to you to take steps towards that every day. And if you feel like one thing that's holding you back is being anxious, being tired, having no drive, feeling overall unhappy, are you really unhappy? Or are all your chemicals that's supposed to be devoted to happiness getting dumped out by a jewel in beer or wine or liquor or Netflix or your phone or masturbation, pornography? Are those what you're getting your happiness from? Are those the TPs you really want to build? Right? Probably not. It's a free country. The reason I like America is because I don't have to agree with everybody, but I enjoy the fact that I live in a place where they can exist and quote unquote be happy. But that's my issue. I don't feel like they're happy. I feel like they're lying to themselves, right? Because you can see it in their face. You can see it when you're hanging out with your buddy and their face is just buried in their phone the whole time and they're like curled up in a ball on the couch, right? And you're like, dude, are you even conscious right now? Like, I know you're physically conscious, but like, why are you even here? You know what I mean? You go to a social event, you see people standing in the corner, clearly uncomfortable, just staring at their phone. Might as well not even be there, right? Because they're getting their stimulation from stuff that does not matter. right? Again, you don't have to cut off all vices. That's not the point, right? That's not the point at all. The point is, if your vices are the source of your dopamine more often than stuff that matters, you got to change that.